Good day, podcast community. I'm PeteKane, and we have a special podcast from Phoenix, Arizona. A health person who I love to talk health. And we're going to geek out on a little bit of health. But Kay Schnizlein is going to introduce herself, who she is, what she does, and who she serves, and we'll get into the podcast. So, Kay, the platform's yours.
So I was in the international airport and I was able to pull my suitcase off of the conveyor belt. And then I could see where my airplane was going, the gate, and went, ooh, that's a long ways away, but I can do this. This was a huge contrast. A couple years before that, I'm standing in line to rent a car and I'm overwhelmed. I'm achy. I'm actually leaning on my suitcase and just inching forward, going, okay, I'm going to work for 2 weeks in this city, but can I do this? Doubting, could I continue my career? Oh my gosh, I'm getting older. My left foot aches. My right knee aches. Oh, a huge amount of doubt. And so I said, okay, I get to find something that's going to help me feel better. Now, I've been
Before you get into that, I want you to tell who you are, what you do, and who you serve, and then we'll get into your story because I love stories. Okay.
So for 36 years, I've been a nutrition guide. So I help people with a thing called NEWS. N for nutrition, E for exercise, W for water, S for sleep. So I customize what supplements will match what their needs are, and starting with each of these things. So how you need something so you will exercise more, and how it's important to exercise 20 minutes a day. Water. I tell people the most important thing to do when you start your day is to drink at least a half a cup of water. And then if you have caffeine, then if you have a cup of caffeine, you need a cup of water. And then you have a cup of something else. And what it does is I educate them on how, when you put water in your system first thing in the morning, your kidneys are super small and your liver's small. But by taking water, then it expands your kidneys to be this size, as much as your hand is. And then it can filter. Then the kidney can do what it's supposed to do. Water is necessary for our brain. So for 36 years, I focused on nutrition, the N for nutrition, that's anti-inflammatory. How you prevent the 5 deadly diseases and how you reduce pain, and have a few stories on how to reduce pain. So then I up my game relative to anti-aging. And I'm a grandma of 2 teenagers that love sports. So that takes physical activity to keep up with them, and a daughter and a son-in-law. And I actually was in Phoenix for 40 years and then moved to Texas. But before that, I lived internationally overseas. I lived in Western Samoa, Zambia, Africa. And that's where I discovered that food is thy medicine for them overseas in third world countries. They don't go to the doctor first. They go to the herbalist, the person that knows how to use the food that grows in the ground where they are to help improve their health. And discovered that go ahead.
Do you think, like, I've heard similar, like, cultures when you go and you travel internationally, the mindset of how they stay healthy is different than what we do. I totally believe in the water. I have a big cup of water. I drink it the first thing in the morning, but I never knew I drink 2 cups of coffee every day. And I now keep my water all very close to me to make sure I'm hydrating myself. Tell me more about. I know the brain is affected by because we dehydrate, but speak to the kidneys because I've never heard how much fluids the kidneys need to function. What happens? Is it over the night? Do they dehydrate and contract, and then the hydration, the water puts them back into where they should be when we
Yes.
wake up?
Yes. So all our organs don't have water during the day. I mean, when you're sleeping, you're not giving them water like during the day to compare. And so the kidney just gets small. So does your liver. Um, I had a health challenge with having headaches at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I went to a naturopath.
Mm-hmm.
And naturopaths go, how do we deal with the whole body? And
Mm-hmm.
she said, stop drinking caffeine, have water, and put lemon, real slice of lemon, not lemon juice, real lemon in the water. That wakes up your kidney. And I was amazed. So she explained to me how you need to water increases your kidney because your kidney filters and your liver then sends nutrients to the rest of your body. So by waking up your liver, you actually then feel awake. The caffeine gives you the temporary thing. And the water also is essential for the brain. The way that the dendrites talk to each other, literally, it's like electrical current. What connects electricity? Water.
Mm-hmm.
So by having water, and then you can put water in your mouth first thing in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
hold it in your mouth. Or when I have it on my desk, I have a glass of water here, drank it before we started, drink
Mm-hmm.
it throughout the day. I says, if you have a foggy brain, drink water, hold it in your mouth because it's going to go through the capillaries of your mouth and get quicker into your blood and
Mm-hmm.
then quicker to your brain. And your brain needs water. We're, I don't know, like 86% water.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so it's the water then moves all the nutrients around in your body.
I love that. Now, I want you to speak specifically. I have a mentor, and he's big into green tea, and I love the taste of coffee. I spend hours in the morning just thinking, and I'm sipping on my coffee. So when you said about the caffeine, what am I giving up by taking in the caffeine? I don't need anything to get me going in the morning. It's not that I drink coffee to wake me up. I drink it for the taste. So what am I giving up when I'm drinking the caffeine coffee versus if I switched to green tea and did the same kind of thinking and just kind of like I love to think, journal, plan and implement. That's my routine. So give me a reason to put my coffee aside and start on green tea or start on a beverage that's not caffeinated.
Coffee dehydrates you. So that's the disadvantage of coffee. Green tea doesn't. Green tea has antioxidants in it.
Hmm.
So we get, our cells get pollution inside them. Um, and that's free radicals. So, what an antioxidant does is it cleans up the free radicals. It cleans up what's going on inside your cells and in between your cells for the air pollution, for our food. The
Hmm.
antioxidant is important for preventing the deadly diseases, cancer, heart attack, stroke, Alzheimer's, diabetes. So, by switching to antioxidants. And I even have another option besides green tea. I do green tea and not coffee. I do coffee and I end up going to the bathroom more often. I'm going, and when I got the connection and learned that it's a dehydrator, I went, oh, is an energy drink accelerate. It has other herbs, GABA and other things that feed your brain, feed your cognition,
Hmm.
and help you be alert. It does have caffeine, but the caffeine comes from green tea. So it's an antioxidant. and it also has mangosteen, which is anti-inflammatory. So the it's tricky to change a habit. And you do coaching, so you're trying to help people. They have this goal. So how do you change the habit? If you link it to something you're already doing, okay, so you like the coffee, go ahead, prepare the coffee and have the green tea there. Okay, first the water, then have a little of the coffee, then have the green tea. You're linking it to what your body, your brain goes, I like this. And then you can pause and go, did I notice any difference? And then the next day, you have a little less and more green tea. And as you're linking a habit, or if the habit is, other things are, okay, whatever you do to start your day in the kitchen, that is a good thing. Okay, that's a habit. That's, you're not even thinking about it. Then you link your new habit right next to that habit. So you've paired them together.
Yeah, I'm a big one on atomic habits. So I
Oh
always,
yeah, me too. The
I
book's over
always
there.
track everything, and I have really no problem with habits, except the fact you've just told me, because I have been thinking about making a change, because I don't, if I'm leaving the house in the mid morning, I'll only drink one cup of coffee, because obviously it's making me go to the bathroom. And I, after a stroke, I'm not as flexible, uh, not as available to do the bathroom thing, because I just have to make sure that I'm not in the car and it's calling me and I have to do, but so I'm very interested in the fact that you said, you know, the
Antioxidant.
antioxidant, the caffeine and the coffee dehydrating. I can definitely, I gave up sugar. I've given up so many things, but I always had to do the stacking, because I lived in a place where the gym was 4 floors below, and I stacked all these habits of what was drinking water, the first thing. And I did it for a year and a half with no problem, because I did so many of the stacking of the habits I wouldn't miss, because it was my thinking time, my journaling time, my time of really energizing the body. So let's talk about sleep. I don't want to switch, but I love that news. Okay. So I tracked my sleep for 6 years before my stroke. I got 6 hours and 31 minutes. I've increased it by about a half hour by meditating right before I go to sleep and when I wake up. So talk to our viewers about when you're working with people on their sleep, because I was in a senior facility and sleep was the biggest challenge for older adults. How can they get more sleep without taking all these different over the counter, all these different medications, with trying to get back to a natural sleeping rhythm? What would you tell our viewers?
Um, Turn off electronics,
Mm-hmm.
TV, phone. If you're watching videos on a phone, now I don't know for other people, but for any age, I they've designed reels and advertisement and algorithms so that it's addicting. They know how to emotionally get you addicted. Oh my gosh, I've been there. Okay. And so an hour before you've set to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
okay, all electronics off. So
Mm-hmm.
I set my timer, and this is the time I'm out of my office. So I'm not at my computer. I'm still working. I'm over 70. But I'm not on my computer, and limit the phone scrolling. Yes, you can do some texting and communicating with people and talking on the phone, but you don't have that blue light stimulation to your brain, and water, and then simple movements. I also have a thing of PACE, which is 4 movements: positive, active, energizing. And so the 4th one is hookups. So it has to do with relaxing. So I put my hands out, cross my wrists, and hook them. I don't know if you can see this. Let's see. Anyways, I'll bring normally. So the church and people game that we played.
Yeah.
So you cross your wrist, you bring it up here. So now your hands are like this. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Put your hands out, straight out. Roll your thumbs down.
Thumbs down.
Thumbs down. No. Unhook. Straight out.
Okay.
Okay. I'll back up so we can see this.
Okay.
Straight out. Roll your thumbs down.
Okay.
Cross your wrists.
Okay.
Now hook your fingers together.
Okay.
Now pull them up.
Okay. Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a left side that's is a little bit. I can feel the tension on it just because.
Okay, so then let go and just have your hands like this.
Okay.
And breathe. Now you just hang out here and breathe. And breathing is essential for relaxing. So you breathe in. I was even talking this to my friend yesterday. So it's breathe in deep. Okay, you breathe in deep for a count of 6. Hold. You breathe out as long as you can. And you're breathing out through your mouth, up and down for 6. And I even get in bed. Oh, and then when you're doing this, you also cross your ankles. Well, I found crossing my ankles is not good for my hips and not good for everything else. So I have a pillow between my knees so that my knees are as wide apart as my hips. So once you've done this for a while, you breathe and you go, okay, you can tell you're more relaxed. Has that come to you yet, that you're like calm?
Yeah. So
then you put your fingertips together.
Because I'm trying to get my right side activated more, improve neuro paths. So I'm always doing crossovers to try to get the brain to see the difference of the sides. So when I do this, like you said, and breathe, is that activating both sides of the brain?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then there's also okay, go to the point. There's also cross crawling to activate the brain. Okay. And I have a PDF that I can send you. And people can email me through my website to get the PDFs, to get all 4 of them. Then to activate your brain is you put your hands up in the air like it says, stick them up. Now you put your right hand on your left knee.
Right hand, left knee. Okay.
Right hand, left knee. Let go.
Okay.
Left hand, right knee. Let go. Now, right hand, left knee, pick up your knee.
Okay.
Let go.
Okay.
Left hand, right knee. Let go. It's wise to do this a minimum of 4 times, but I don't think, to honor the podcast time, this is extremely helpful. And your thing about crossing the midline to activate your left is golden. And I will help you with other ways to do that, to cross your midline so that you can literally, you're building the neural pathway from the left to the right and the right to the left. So when you're crossing over the midline this way, and then you're also picking up your knee, you're organizing, getting all the parts of your left and right brain to be able to talk to each other. And that is really important for everyone, even if they don't have a challenge before, is to prevent those challenges. And I do it so I can read. And we talked before we got on this call relative to dyslexic, not being able to spell. And I made it through college. My first employer says, you can't spell. Then I learned this whole thing. All this is part of Brain Gym. And when I learned that Brain Gym says how we can activate the whole body, turn the whole body on so it's talking to each other. And so when I realize I'm writing, how do I spell that? Okay, then I will literally stop, do cross crawl, and then other things with Brain Gym to honor the time on the podcast, to activate me then being able to spell, because I've now connected the left side and right side of my brain in order to spell. It was in there. I saw that word, maybe. Maybe it's a new word I hadn't seen before, but I know I need to write it and spell it. So by the cross crawling and see what that happens to your spelling, it totally changed my writing ability, my communication. Brain Gym was all how to do with how children would learn to read, write, communicate. And it changed my life as an adult.
I love that because I after my stroke, I followed and bought a number of his books, Jim Quick, The Brain, and he does these cross calls, just like you're saying. He teaches that. And that, I'm in a wheelchair right now below here. It's comfortable. I don't use it except in my office to get around. But I use, Alexa, I use Siri for all my spelling. Are you saying that I would be better served to activate by doing the cross call and activating the brain more than just getting the end result of a spelling?
Yes.
That it's up there, it just hasn't been activated?
Yes.
Wow,
Yes.
that's
And I'm not sure what physically has been harmed with a stroke. I know, but it's not a universal thing as far as nutrition. Increasing your nitric oxide is also very important, and anti-inflammatory and anti-aging. So to go back to the anti-inflammatory and how to have it most potent. The mangosteen is an anti-inflammatory fruit. And 30 years ago, somebody figured out how to get the mangosteen, which is a purple fruit that grows in Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia. If you can see that fruit. Okay. And it doesn't grow in the United States. So they figured out how to pulverize the outside pericarb and make it into a juice. So for 30 years, I've been drinking the juice. It's anti-inflammatory. Yet I walk a couple miles a day, love walking. Discovered when I moved to Texas, I love walking in the rain. Wow. And it's also important to be walking on grass. But I got to the point when especially when I was on the airport, my left foot ached to where I could only do half a mile. And my right knee ached because I'd fallen down on it once. And so by having the xanthones that are in the mangosteen, put them nano-size. They're more potent, bioavailable, fast delivery into your blood. So they put it into nano-sizing into a mist. So you spray this and it goes through the capillaries of your mouth, just like the water does. Okay. And then in 2 seconds, it's in your blood. And in 6 seconds, it's in your liver. And it starts to go all over your body. There's a whole bunch of science on PubMed, pubmed.gov. And you can send me through my website and I can give you information on that. You put anything in there. So I put in that search engine of all the research that's been done around the world. When somebody told me about the mangosteen, I said, show me the science. My father's a scientist. I'm done with this doctor's got the greatest and this doctor's got the greatest, but show me the science.
Yeah.
There's science on PubMed that it makes a difference. It's anti-inflammatory. So you put in Xantones / anti-inflammatory, Xantones / pain, Xantones / any health challenge you have, foggy brain, and see where by having it more potent in a mist, nano-sized, it makes a difference to reducing your inflammation. I have no pain. I have no more pain in my left foot. I have no more pain in my right. I did something strange with my wrist. Sunday, I said, oh, it aches. Monday morning, okay, I can still go to exercise and fitness. I'm now doing 6 times a day, chair, yoga, other exercises, Tai Chi. I was only doing Tai Chi. Now I'm doing 6, and I'm also doing an exercise gym of the exercise coach where I'm actually building strength in my muscles. And so I made sure it wasn't broken. It wasn't broken. So I now have very little swelling, because I've lost track to how many times I've added this anti-inflammatory, and I know the practice of giving and receiving divine light. So the spiritualness of healing my hands better. It still aches. I mean, I basically did a twist. You know, you sprain your ankle. Well, I pulled off spraining. So I have the experience in the last 24 hours, 48 hours of how it made a difference. Then I said, okay, I need anti-aging. I'm healthy. I was in the hospital. I had my child with midwives. Okay. And then one minor surgery. Then I wasn't in the hospital. I turned 70, boom, 3 times I'm in the hospital. I said, goodness gracious, my news isn't quite good enough. And then I added anti-aging. Glutathione is an anti-aging molecule. Up until 2 years ago, the only way you could get glutathione was intravenous. Now, it's the same thing relative to nanosizing. What is glutathione? It's a molecule that cleans up the inside of your cells. So we have 37 trillion cells. You can imagine how many trillions of cells are in your brain that have been turned off.
Right.
Okay. How many trillion cells? So our skin everywhere, those cells, 3,000 die a day. No, 3. Anyways, and they need to reproduce. It's 3 million die a day. And then they need to reproduce. The glutathione gets inside the cells and cleans up the cells. So that cell reproduces from a bad cell to a good cell, a healthy cell. It's actually making you younger. So by adding glutathione, people are going, what are you doing? You look younger. What are you doing? Your hair is browner.
Yeah.
I had major surgery, and yet I feel younger. I'm able to do more physical activity than I did 3 years ago.
Yeah, I went to my 50th high school reunion, and it was interesting. I haven't seen people, some of them, in 50 years. So you could see the effects of age in different people, because we had 140 people, and I bet you 40 of them I haven't seen in 50 years. And so
I hadn't even seen them on Facebook to even have a clue what they were.
in 3 years. So I didn't know. I was like saying the wrong names for people. But what was interesting is to see the effects of aging in different people. And so I think what you're talking about, I love the acronym news. I mean, I'm going to use that everywhere because
Go for it.
it is so powerful. Well, one, to remember that it's not just one thing. I mean, nutrition, exercise, water, and sleep. I mean, now that's in my brain because of just how you explained it and the importance of it. So I love that you're helping to educate my community because we're getting into some crazy times with AI and being able to figure out some of these things that were so complicated. If we went and looked and researched, we'd have so much conflicting information. Now we really can get more accurate information. So
Yes.
I love that you've
And the
shared.
crucial thing, yes,
Yeah.
and right, relative to news. And so I equate nano sizing, getting it super small so it gets directly into your blood, is the AI for nutrition. So
Okay. Yeah.
still and for nutrition, but to get the highest technology is for it to absorb into your body. And I heard a nutrition thing that they just released the product yesterday, and it has to do with building muscles and brains and all other kinds of things. And they said, but you got to get the right kind, which is the nano sizing. It's absorbable. When we take
What would you
stuff,
say
it goes
before
through my
we're
digestive system.
winding
It's
down?
not
Let me
absorbable.
ask you a question on this, Kay, because I do a lot of shopping at Costco. And so I get magnesium, turmeric, I get a multi, but I do the gummies. What's the difference for our viewers to take home gummies versus you were talking about the spray that gets into the body. Is there like
Revolutionary different.
really?
Revolutionary. There's 60 micronutrients in this spray, along with the mangosteen, which is anti-inflammatory. So
Hmm.
all those are vitamins. There's only about 10% of, I go to Costco as well. There's only about 10% of those vitamins that finally going through the digestive system gets into the blood and then gets to the cells. This, because it's revolutionary small, absorbable, biodeliverable, um, bioavailable, then it's revolutionary relative to mangosteen, 60 nutrients, glutathione, anti-aging, clearing up. So 4 seconds to get in your blood, and in 15 seconds, it's at your liver. Your liver takes the glutathione and then sends it to the cells. Our heart, every 6 years, all the cells in our heart are new cells.
Really?
Yes, and there's new cells in your brain. So by everybody switching and adding glutathione, you don't have to have it intravenously where it's $100 an injection. That's
Yeah.
for the expensive. This
Right.
is revolutionary, patent pending, and I was like brain fog. I can't learn this new. Oh, I got to learn AI. Oh, I got to learn how to work the computer. Oh, I got to learn how to do my camera. Oh, I got to
Yeah.
learn this. Oh, I got to learn LinkedIn. How can I send a message through LinkedIn? By spraying both of these,
Right.
waiting till the taste goes out of my mouth, and I'm going, I can think. I can problem solve. My brain's working
Wow.
in minutes because of the nanotechnology. It makes a difference. And
Well,
there's even a book,
what you do,
4 seconds to forever.
yeah, that I love that because I never knew. I don't do tablets because I've just in my research, they don't metabolize into the body. So I was thinking gummies was the next best thing, but you've opened my eyes to. I believe in the. I like your analogy of the water in the mouth, and I just drink it. But I think now I see the advantages of just it's not what you put in your body, it's what it absorbs. And
Bingo! Golden!
if we can't get that absorption rate, then we're not going to get the benefits because we might feel good about taking something like I took my magnesium last night, I took my turmeric, but that's not the same thing as what's getting into our body, what's assimilating into our body. Now, I want our viewers to be able to get a hold of some of the information we talked about. So make sure you get our information so we can put it in the show notes and allow our viewers to be able to see a different way of taking care of their health, because it's all education. And I thought, man, I thought I was like the nutrition fiend, but it's amazing what I didn't know. I didn't know half of the things you told me. I had no idea. And so it was very beneficial. So I want you to, as we wind down, Kay, I'm going to put the information up on the screen. What would you think? What is the one thing you want our viewers to take home from our time on the podcast?
I have a nutritionist, Santel. She said, after using Glutamist and Xantone Mist, I have more energy. It lasts all day. It lifts my brain fog. I'm able to focus. I'm able to get things done. My skin is cleaner and my complexion is totally different. I never realized how these products would help. So it's try them, check them out, use them. It's 60-day money back. Tomorrow we're older. How do we slow down the aging process? And this is a revolutionary way to slow down the aging process, look younger from the inside, feel younger, prevent the horrible things that happen as we age with absorbable, bioavailable nutrition.
Awesome. Man, Kay, I thank
I
you.
have the science.
If you'll stay on after we end our podcast, I want to ask you some additional questions, but I want to thank you for being our guest all the way from Texas.
You are so smart.
Yeah, that's good. Texas is a good state. We have a good state here in Georgia, but it's always, we love our people in Texas and Arizona. So thank you, Kay, for educating our community on the importance of really the health news, applying news to their everyday life. Thank you so much for being a guest on our